Hey, Mitch Gallagher at Sweetwater, coming to you from the Avid booth at NAMM 2025 with our friend Daniel. It's great to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well.
So you got some new stuff coming in Pro Tools. You guys have been doing the regular updates, but this year's looking great for new things.
Yeah, we're showing some tech previews of some stuff that we hope to release in the future, and there's some really exciting stuff in there. Going to help a lot of people across music, post-production, so I think it's really cool stuff. So we'll jump in and have a look if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
So one of the things I want to show is obviously we get that feedback sometimes like, I'm not sure about doing MIDI and Pro Tools, and we keep making steps to making it better and better and better all the time. So I just want to jump into one little thing over here where I did a little quick kind of track beat situation. And if we go into our MIDI clip here, let me jump in there and get rid of this guy. One thing we're thinking about doing and looking in a future version is to move the MIDI operations directly in the MIDI editor. So while this has always existed, you kind of had to go to another area to find this. And when you're doing your MIDI or your programming, your drum programming, to have to go somewhere else kind of takes you out of the flow. So we're looking to put this directly in the window right next to your MIDI. And I always try and remind people, we do have a step input, it is in there, but now it's going to be like right next to your track so you can get in there and start programming. Another thing that we released in the last version was the focus view. So the focus view works both in the track and in the MIDI editor. So it shows you just the notes that you want. And as you can see, I kind of sneakily left one in there. You can actually name these notes. So I can go in here and I think this is a hi-hat. So I could just write in hats, but I've actually made some presets where I've named the most common used notes in here, and now they're applied directly in here so I can see precisely what notes I'm triggering, and I can have their names. And you can have multiple presets for different instruments. So that's a really nice improvement on the MIDI editor there, so that you can see that and also make easy changes, plus just concentrate on the notes that you want to work on. So that's one really nice thing. And one of the things we've been showing in some other previews, but it's been interesting, not all the music folks have seen it, is the transcription function, which makes a lot of sense for post-production, but it's also really cool in music as well. So if I just jump in here, and I'm going to look at our speech to text. Now, I've already run this on this vocal, so it's already here, but if we look in here, we can see that it's analyzed this music, this vocal, and it's taken the words out and it's displaying them directly below Pro Tools. And as we zoom in and play back, we can see it actually traces along with the audio to show you where the words are. I can then click and it will move my insert point directly to where that is. I can use my other tools, as you'd be familiar with, Shift, etc., to make selections. So that's really cool, but if you've transcribed an entire piece of audio, you can actually come into this window and search for particular words across your session. Let's say we went for head in here. I can now click on here and it's going to take me exactly to that word on that track that I've selected in the session. So I think this is going to be really cool for post-production and music. Imagine, let's just drop in at head, put it on there, pre-roll, record, drop straight in. So I think that's going to be really cool. Another thing, and I think possibly that's the main reason for this, is that we're a lot more open. I think the ARA improvements have been really, really great. Obviously, we started off with Melodyne included, and that's been really successful. We added it where we can, bring the window out because a lot of users, they're spending a lot of time in these ARA plugins. But we're also with each release, there's been more. The last release, there was working with Steinberg, with Wavelab and Spectral Layers. That's really cool to have those in Pro Tools. We've got a little preview with Dynassist from Noiseworks, and a really interesting one that's quite fun. They haven't actually released yet. This is a company called Dream Tonics out of Japan, where I'm based, and it's an AI voice generation. So if we have a look at this one really quickly, it's just an example of what ARA can do. I can go into this ARA here, and what I did is I actually sang straight into my MacBook Pro speaker, just a little harmony to go along with this vocal. I then jumped into my ARA, and you can see the ever-growing list, and I popped in Edit, brought it in here, and it analyzed the pitch, the time, and the words, put it in there, and now I can choose a new voice. So I didn't really want my voice on there. Now I've got Hayden's voice on there. So it just gives us a way of creating lots of new things, staying in Pro Tools and staying really focused. And one thing I think is really interesting, the ARA platform is growing so well, and there's so many plugins there now. Waves announced their Sync VX. We installed it, and it works. So that's a really cool way of how the platform has continued to grow and be more open and basically just keep you in the workflow. So I think that's the main things that we're showing at the show that are kind of previews into the future, but I hope it shows a commitment to music and MIDI and all of those good things in Pro Tools.
Yeah, fantastic. And workflow is such a big thing, right? Because like you said, keeping that focus allows you to just be creative because you're not having to split your brain.
I think there was so much management before. I've got this audio suite tool. It's really great, but I've got to what am I going to do with that clip? What if I need to go back? That's not quite what I like. And that's what the ARA ability gives you, is just to make a change. Not sure if you like it, bypass it, commit it, try something different. And actually a lot of the ARA plugins have their own levels of undo. So that's like on top of Pro Tools undo as well. So yeah, it's been really great to add those in there and just make it easier to stay and concentrate on what you're doing and not go somewhere else, but also have access to these great tools.
Fantastic. Well, 2025 is going to be very exciting for Pro Tools users. Definitely worth checking out all these new features that are in there. So congratulations. Cool stuff.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you, Daniel.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here at the Avid booth. So much cool stuff happening with Pro Tools in 2025. Full information at sweetwater.com, or of course your sales engineer has everything you need to know about Pro Tools. Contact them to get all the news. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.